Hello, welcome to Moonlit Justice Oracle. I'm here to do a Divine Feminine reading. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you do in support of this channel. I friggin' appreciate you. Alright. Page of Swords. It's funny, I was just shuffling and the energies for this, the overall energies for this reading are Two of Wands, Strength, and Sun. And I was kind of getting like, anyways, with the Five of Cups, once I was done shuffling these. Someone in the Divine Feminine Collective, or the Divine Feminine Collective as a whole, might be focusing on looking at situations in a more positive light, whether that's in general or a specific situation. Like focusing on the positive aspects of things, not getting caught up in the negatives in some way. Hangman, new perspective, seeing things differently. Surrendering to the journey, release control. Alright, what is the Divine Feminine Collective's current energy? What is Divine Feminine's current energy? Horus, Cosmic Gateway, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Yeah, there could be something here about thoughts. Focusing on the power of our thoughts, our words. The words we say to ourselves, the ways we think, understanding how magnetic and powerful they are. Why is Divine Feminine in this Cosmic Gateway energy? Why is Divine Feminine in this current Cosmic Gateway energy? Sacred Vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. So Divine Feminine is currently in this Cosmic Gateway energy because they are understanding the power of their thoughts, the power of how they're thinking about things. And they're choosing to forgive in order to heal. They're choosing to see the light in all, remembering that love has no boundaries. It's like a higher perspective. Seeing things from a higher perspective. Big picture, like maybe focusing on seeing things like big picture wise. Discovering truth. Mother Mary, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. Interesting. What would be beneficial for Divine Feminine to avoid whilst being in this Cosmic Gateway energy? What would be beneficial for Divine Feminine to avoid? What should Divine Feminine avoid while being in this energy? Wandering path, enjoy the journey. Because with the path, right, with the journey, there's all these different stages. There's all these different parts of that story, parts of that path. And it's like there's a beginning, there's all the parts in between before the destination is reached. There's good times, there's bad times, there's obstacles, there's, I don't know, it's like life. It's like there's so much experience. There's so many different experiences. There's highs, there's lows. We get sidetracked. We have periods of intense focus. Like there's so much to it. Wandering path for what Divine Feminine should avoid while in this Cosmic Gateway energy. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Enjoy the journey. What would be beneficial for them to avoid? Yeah, I don't know if maybe it has something to do with focusing on any particular part of this journey, but I'm kind of getting like that would be, like, if there's any part of this journey that has been or could be or is being perceived in a negative way or in a way that isn't necessarily understanding or any kind of way that isn't focused on the big picture, the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? Focusing on, like, with a path where it's past, present, and future, all, there's a history there, you know, there's remembering what happened earlier on the path, thinking about what's ahead on the path. Enjoy the journey. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Yeah, there could be something about the connection between divine feminine and divine masculine. How the divine feminine is perceiving something in it, or it's beneficial to if the divine feminine in the past has been focused on, perhaps, let's say, I keep being drawn to this little X here. I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? Man, I gotta cut my claws. I'm in denial that I have to cut them. One of them's like, anyways, not important. If anyone who has natural nails and works hard to grow them out, you understand when things go awry. Okay. The X is right by my nail. Anyways, why am I focused on the X? That's the destination. Okay. So if there's focusing on outcomes or focusing on like the end point on this path or the destination, right? Focusing on that in a more, like, not feeling hopeful in some way or feeling pessimistic in some way. If that's what was experienced in the past or is currently being experienced, it's important to understand the power of how you're perceiving this, the power of how you're choosing to think about the situation, what you're focusing on, right? So I think it's not clarified yet, but what I'm getting intuitively is that it would be important to avoid focusing on the outcomes. I know that's a big thing. That's a big thing with these connections, a challenge. Not worrying or not focusing on the outcome. And if you are choosing to focus on the outcome, envisioning a positive outcome, right? Understanding that your thoughts are powerful and magnetic. There's a lot of, our thoughts influence a lot of things in our lives, right? Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. What would be a beneficial energy for divine feminine to lean into whilst in this cosmic? We got too many there. What's a beneficial energy for divine feminine to lean into whilst in this cosmic gateway energy? Beneficial energy for divine feminine. Discovering truth, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible. This came out before. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. It's understanding that we don't know everything. Sometimes we feel like, I'm not suggesting anyone's a know-it-all, but sometimes we have a perspective, and it could be hard to see other perspectives. And I think that's where the big picture comes in. So if there's a certain perspective that is, and I'm really getting like focusing on the negative or being pessimistic about something. And I'm not encouraging toxic positivity here or anything, but this is more of a being able to see divine truth in this situation, in this connection, in divine feminine's life, right? Seeing the big picture, divine truth. And being able to see things in a positive light. Stand in the light of truth, discovering truth. What's beneficial energy for divine feminine to strive for or lean into while in this cosmic gateway? Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. So understanding that all obstacles can be overcome. You can overcome anything. And this would be a beneficial energy for divine feminine to lean into at this time in this cosmic gateway. So maybe the divine feminine collective is having a challenging time with perspective, or a challenging time enjoying the journey, not focusing on outcomes or expectations, things like that. You're being encouraged to be in a resilient, determined, optimistic energy when it comes to overcoming obstacles in your path. And I'm kind of kidding, because Horus is a bird, right? I don't know much about this stuff, but that looks like a damn bird to me. Horus is a bird. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. And then I was looking at this, and I was noticing that there's this little bird on the branch here, looking at this obstacle with the sword. And it's kind of like how this bird is perceiving this obstacle. It's important. It's like, sure, that's a what? A boulder? That's a big ass rock. And it's in the way of this path here. I just noticed that. There's this path going on, and this boulder, like, in order to get around it, you gotta, like, I don't know, climb down this steep decline, or attempt to navigate this way somehow. How we're perceiving obstacles. How Divine Feminine is looking at a current obstacle or obstacles in general. What's Divine Feminine's current obstacle challenge here? What is Divine Feminine's current obstacle challenge? Increased awareness, deep connection, trust her inner voice. Divine Feminine might be having a challenging time trusting their inner voice, feeling the deep connection with their counterpart perhaps, or feeling a deep connection with the divine, God, source, the universe, the world, etc. What's this? I'm not taking it. Bridget, inner strength, move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. And this is kind of bringing me back to the strength energy that came out for today's reading. Move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. So if this is if these obstacles are involving your personal personal challenges, recognize that you have the power. You are possible of overcoming any obstacles you might be facing. What's currently going well for Divine Feminine? What's currently going well? What is currently answering the call? The time is now. Soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. The time is now. So you might currently, the Divine Feminine Collective, might be currently rediscovering a lost part of themselves. They've answered a call, or they're answering a call, or they're being called to rediscover a lost part of themselves. So I'm kind of getting, if this is more on a personal level, like for the Divine Feminine's independent individual self, this might have something to do with the path they've been on in their lives, and it might have something to do with, what was I going to say? I don't know. I'm kind of just generally getting the feeling like this Divine Feminine Collective might be on this wandering path, this journey, right? And they've come in contact with some kind of obstacle. They're experiencing some kind of obstacles and challenges. And they're having a difficult time trusting their inner voice. And this could have something to do with perspective again, like we were talking about earlier. Focusing on like a more pessimistic view versus optimistic in some way. Maybe it's not like, I'm kind of, okay, this is just what I'm getting. It's almost like when obstacles end up in our path, right? Sometimes we can be like, shoot, this sucks, this is hard, I don't know what to do, etc., right? But it's like those obstacles are there for a reason, and it's for our highest good. It's for our own personal growth and development, evolution. There's a reason for it. So maybe this Divine Feminine Collective is currently not in that mentality, and more experiencing and focusing on the negatives, the challenges that have been placed in their path, or that they've come across on their path. Like, they're currently in it right now, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, from my personal experience, it can be hard while you're in it, while you're in the midst of whatever obstacles, challenges these are. It can be hard to, like, take a step back and be like, I know this is probably for my own good, or this is probably for my growth, evolution, etc. Depending on what these challenges are, right? Some of them can be very consuming. So maybe that's what's going on here. Deep connection. Trust your inner voice. So this Divine Feminine's inner voice is trying to help them become aware. Their higher selves are trying to assist them in this process. And maybe And I'm kind of getting, so like the boulder, right? It's a very round boulder, the circle. And then I noticed increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice with Master Buddha. There's a circle all around. And I'm like, it's like thinking about the obstacle. Thinking about the obstacle. Which, of course, you can't just ignore the obstacle. Increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. Again, there's a lot of circles here. Horus, cosmic gateway, circle around the head. This has to do with thoughts, perspectives. Two different, because I'm seeing this one, right? And there's two different circles. And two different circles down here, too. Interesting. Alright, let's keep going. Wait, did I? No, I didn't officially take the card, I don't think. What's currently going well for this Divine Feminine Collective? What is currently going well for this Divine Feminine Collective? Valiant courage. Take action with passion. So this Divine Feminine Collective is taking actions towards what they're passionate about. And that's going well for them. Valiant courage. They're being courageous when facing these obstacles. They're being courageous on this path. I mean, when we're doing things that take courage, right? Strength again. When we're doing things, this might be in the pursuit of one's happiness. This Divine Feminine Collective might be in the pursuit of their happiness. And this takes courageous action in some way. This isn't a path made for the timid. This isn't a path that's easy. But this Divine Feminine Collective feels it's worth it. It's worth it. Anything that takes courage to do, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be obstacles, right? Voyage of the heart, breaking trail, breakthroughs at hand. This could have to do with matters of the heart. Distant thunder, clear the air. Wise leader in solitude. Valiant courage, take action with passion. It's funny, I just noticed there's a tree on the right side of 3 of these cards. The number 3 could mean something to someone. Yeah, there's a tree here, wandering path. Tree here on the right, overcoming obstacles with the birdie. And then a tree here. Valiant courage. Yeah, it's kind of like, so this bird, right? Little bird. This bird has a choice. Okay, obviously the bird can fly over it. But let's say this bird was a human standing here instead. A human that could not fly. And they're looking at this obstacle in the way. They could choose to just turn around. They could have the perspective of, I can't overcome that. I'm just going to turn around and go backwards or go try another route. You know what I mean? But with valiant courage, this person's like taking action with passion. They're going towards whatever it is they're trying to do in a courageous manner. They're not giving up. It's like this person, and this is what's going well for Divine Feminine. This person would be like, well, we're gonna climb up this way, and we're gonna get over this obstacle in some way, or if safe for others, safe for the environment, we'll just roll this off that way maybe. This also could have something to do with seeing the truth, having truth in some way. Because I just noticed the sword in this boulder. And it's like, If someone feels like they're having a hard time finding the truth in something, or having a hard time seeing something clearly, that could be the challenge as well. What is Divine Feminine's advice guidance for traveling lightly? Simplify your life. Again, with the trees on the right. What is it about the right? Are there trees on the left in any of these? Yeah. Trees on the right. Interesting. Traveling lightly. Simplify your life. And this is Divine Feminine's guidance whilst being in this energy. Simplify your life. So, maybe... Okay, the big picture of the situation regarding whatever obstacles these are, perhaps they're intended to help Divine Feminine simplify their life, or... Because with this card, right, this person isn't carrying much. They are traveling lightly. There's not much burdening them. There's not much holding them or slowing them down in some way. It's not too much to carry, like... They're only taking what they need. So there might be something about that. And that might be part of like this perspective or way a different perspective in this situation. The way. Interesting. All right, let's clarify. Let us clarify. Yeah, 9 of Wands. This Divine Feminine collective might be tired. They've been through a lot. But they're still standing. They're not giving up. All right. Why is Cosmic Gateway here for Divine Feminine's current energy? Cosmic Gateway, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. The Star. This came out for Divine Feminine's current energy in the last river reading we did, I believe. The Star. What do you want? This? There you go. Nice little top for you. A citrine top. Alright. Yeah. Star. Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. And I'm seeing all the stars behind Horus here in the galaxy. And I'm kind of feeling like an awareness of how our thoughts affect, how everything's connected, how everything... Thoughts regarding how things are connected, or the importance of understanding how our thoughts are connected to our reality in some way, or our thoughts are connected to overcoming obstacles, our beliefs when it comes to what we can achieve, what we can overcome. The Divine Feminine is acting with courage, taking action with passion, taking action towards what they feel passionate about. And perhaps there's challenges associated with that. I think I was saying that earlier. Star, Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Hope. When it comes to having hope, I think I was talking about that before with like feeling hopeless or shoot. Again, with the tree on the right. Tree on the right of this one. And I'm noticing down here there's like this little path of water. There's this little path of water. And it's coming from one of the pictures in her hand. And it's the picture that's close. It's like the picture is hidden behind her head in this image. There's something about maybe the path, emotions involved with this path, and perspective. Some kind of perspective regarding emotions on this path, whether this is emotions about the past or present, future, etc. There's something about how this Divine Feminine Collective feels and is thinking about this path. And it could have something to do with hope, having hope, feeling hopeless. Why is Sacred Vision here for why Divine Feminine is in this Cosmic Gateway energy? Sacred Vision for why Divine Feminine is in this current energy? Magician. Magician. Wasn't this Divine Masculine's energy in the last reading? The last river reading? I think it was up here. Yeah, because the Star and the Magician, or yeah. Anyway. Sacred Vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Magician. Willpower, skills, manifestation. Because this Magician is, it's like I always think of as above, so below with the Magician. The interconnectedness. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Yeah, there's something here about choose to forgive in order to heal. It's like with lack of forgiveness, there is no healing. And then with the sword pointed, it's like the sword is going into the bushes here with the flowers. And with the overcoming obstacles, sword in the boulder, the giant rock in the way. It's like seeing that giant rock as an opportunity for growth, to thrive, to... Well, we'll definitely have to clarify more. Why is Wandering Path here for what Divine Feminine should avoid while in this energy? Wandering Path for what Divine Feminine should avoid. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Yeah, this is coming back to, there's definitely something here about emotions on this path. This might have to do with expression, because to me the Knights are the action takers. They're the ones that go towards their goals, what they want. This Knight of Cups goes towards what is emotionally fulfilling. So there might be something here about the Divine Feminine Collective, some kind of perspective or feelings regarding something in the past. I'm kind of getting something in the past, but I think it's connected. Like whatever this past path involved, whatever happened in the past on this path having to do with emotions or expressing one's emotions in some way, or pursuing things because of for emotional fulfillment. There's something about that might influence, possibly in a negative way, or this is what's happened, what the Divine Feminine Collective is working through. It might have affected their perception in a more negative way. Because of, yeah, with the Five of Cups, right? It's like focusing on things that didn't work out with the cups, with the emotions, the feelings. Something didn't work out. And that's currently a challenge, or it has been a challenge, or it's something the Divine Feminine Collective is working through. And it's important to not focus, pretty much I'm just getting this, it didn't come out to clarify, but Knight of Cups, right? Something to do with someone going towards emotional fulfillment in some way, taking actions towards their emotional fulfillment might have left them feeling sad or disappointed in some way. And that might currently affect the way they perceive a situation or perceive things in general. Oh, shoot. What's this? A story? Confusion. There's confusion here. Something here might have caused confusion when it comes to how to perceive something or how to feel about something. Ten of Pentacles. Long-term success and stability. Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying earlier, where it's when when we face challenges and obstacles, in my belief, they're put there for us to grow, to develop, to evolve, etc., right? They're there to help us elevate, ascend in some way, if we choose to go about things in that way. And I think that this might have something to do with, what was I just looking at that made me think about this? Oh, the Ten of Pentacles. Big picture wise, why it's an important part of this journey, right? Or why things had to go a certain way in this journey. The value. Seeing the value of this obstacle challenge instead of seeing the problem with it. Seeing the importance, the benefit, the value. Seeing the value when it comes to long-term success, stability, when it comes to thriving, when it comes to... yeah, there's something about that. Whatever obstacles, challenges that have been on this path or that are currently being experienced, it's important to see the bigger picture, or try to at least consider the possibility that these challenges are here, these challenges have been there because it's for the greater good in some way. And that can be real hard when you're in it, right? When you're amidst the challenges, when you're involved in just trying to overcome them, right? It can be hard to have that perspective and to not get caught up in the BS of it all, really. So Divine Feminine is being encouraged to not focus on the destination, not focused on the past in a negative or pessimistic way. Having hope and understanding that the way they're choosing to think and perceive things, how it affects, interconnected with the stars, right? How everything's connected in some way. Our thoughts are connected to our realities in some way. In many ways. It's like, okay, so I'm getting, because Valiant Courage, it's like the Knight of Wands to me. Take action with passion, and this is what's going well. So I'm almost getting, like, whatever's going on here, if this involves Divine Feminine's personal, independent journey as an individual, right? Or if this is involving the Divine Counterpart. There's something here about the emotions, taking action with emotions, or there's something about the feelings being more challenging than the passion, or the desire, or the courage involved. Wait, that makes sense? What was this devil showing up here? There's something here. This Divine Feminine collective might have felt stuck. Like being a passenger. Okay, here we go. It's like, why am I covering up the pentacles? Yeah, it's like, let's not talk about this. But it's like being a passenger on this boat. This ship. And you're just at the mercy of nature. You're at the mercy of the captain, the crew. Let's just say you're not even part of the crew. You're just you're just on the ship. You have no control over how it's going. And you're... Where is I going with this? Feeling stuck? Yes, stuck and scared. Or stuck, worried. Just at the mercy of this, of the giant waves, of the turbulence, of the ups and downs. Like, feel like a lack of control. That's what I'm getting. It's like feeling a lack of control in the ups and downs, like how things are going. And that is how the emotions were affected in some way. There's something about that. Feeling stuck because of that, and stuck in a very negative way. With the Devil, 9 of Swords. Like, this is stuck in a very negative way. I can't show you too much of... Hold on. I can't show you too much. But it's like, this is nightmare energy, you know what I mean? So whatever that experience was, of feeling more like a passenger, and just at the mercy of everything else, and how that affected your emotions, that could have something to do with why it's such an obstacle challenge now, if that's the case here. And it's like it's easier to, and I'm not saying this is what I'm not saying someone's just focusing on the passion and the desire, right? But that part's easy. That part's easier in some way. The tough part is the emotions, is the feelings involved, the heart space. And that comes down to perspective, I believe. Perspective about how things are part of a bigger picture or interconnected in some way, or how those experiences or that experience has helped you grow, or was intended or is intended to help you grow, evolve in some way. And I think that's why it's valuable to trust your inner voice, to trust your intuition, I'll just stop there. Maybe it makes sense. Why is overcoming obstacles here? For what would be a beneficial energy for Divine Feminine to lean into? Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything for a beneficial energy. Yeah, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. It's like allowing yourself to feel through the obstacles, to allow yourself to to approach these obstacles from a place, from the heart space in some way, with compassion, with nurturing, with... This could just have to do with the obstacles in the heart space, the challenges involved with feelings, right? Like, there's something about that. To overcome these obstacles, or to approach these obstacles from a more evolved space, from a more evolved heart space, because the Queen versus the Knight, right? The Queen is more highly evolved than the Knight. Enjoy the journey. It's like releasing old feelings, and I'm kind of getting like releasing the feelings of disappointment, sadness, regret, releasing the feelings associated with whatever's gone wrong, let's say. And I'm using wrong in quotations because I personally believe that things don't just go wrong. I mean, some things are awful and suck, but in my opinion, they oftentimes, if not all the time, are there for a reason. We're supposed to grow or learn something from that. It's supposed to evolve us in some way. But that's a big picture perspective. That's a perspective that my Knight of Cups energy would not understand, but my Queen of Cups energy would, right? So it's like, if we're able to evolve if we're able to look at things from a higher perspective, from a more consciously evolved perspective, seeing the bigger picture, or having an awareness, like if we're not able to actually see the big picture, right? See all the details and explanations involved of why this happened, why that happened. It's being able to at least entertain the possibility that these things happen for our growth, for our evolution. It's all connected in some way. It all makes sense in some way. And then releasing those negative emotions, releasing that perspective, the perspective of this, focusing on the negative. Queen of Cups. You can overcome anything. So it would be beneficial for Divine Feminine to lean more into their Queen of Cups energy. Kind, loving, nurturing, compassionate, empathetic, intuitive, emotionally strong, emotionally mature. Increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice for what Divine Feminine's current challenge obstacle is. Increased awareness. Wheel of Fortune. Trust your inner voice. Wheel of Fortune. When I see that Wheel of Fortune, it's just, to me, it's a reminder that it's like we don't have control over this Wheel of Fortune. We as simple humans have no control necessarily, no direct control of this Wheel of Fortune. We can continue on our path doing things that we believe are for our highest selves. We can do things that we believe are for the benefit of the world, the universe, etc., right? But in actuality, the divine turns this wheel. The divine gives permission for this wheel to turn in our favor. Deep connection, trust your inner voice, increased awareness. Yeah, it's like, then I see the Sphinx here, right? The Sphinx has a sword nestled in their inner arm. And it's, I don't think you can see this. Maybe you can. You'll see like the line, I think. But it's pointing up to the sky, to the heavens, right? A higher perspective. The higher perspective that we can't control. We can only control certain things, right? Increased awareness, deep connection. Trust your inner voice. Trusting that things will turn in your favor. Things will progress in a beneficial, fulfilling way. For all involved, right? It's like, especially if we're talking about this Divine Feminine collective in relation to their connection with the Divine Masculine, right? The Divine Masculine as another person. It could be something about like how, I don't know, how we perceive. I don't know. I mean, okay, so I believe that we don't, as Divine Feminines, right? As Divine Feminines, we can't fully understand what's going on with our Divine counterpart, the Divine Masculine, right? And it's like understanding that whatever's happened is not only for our benefit, for our highest good, but is for their highest good too. And that's the higher perspective that we are unable to see. We do know things, but we don't know everything, right? Did I say something about that earlier? I might have. Something about, I don't remember. Trust your inner voice. Yeah, it's like if someone in this Divine Collective, their inner voice is saying things are going to get better, or just doing that, like time. Things are going to get better. Things need time. Trust your inner voice. Things need time to progress in some way. It's allowing the inner voice of you that is this Queen of Cups versus the inner voice that might be more along the line of this. You know, it's having the choice as this person here to turn around and see things from a more optimistic perspective. Having hope versus hopelessness, right? It's this person has a choice, and it's all in the mind. It's how they choose to perceive something. It's what they choose to focus on that leads them to turn around. Why is Valiant Courage here for what's going well for the Divine Feminine Collective? Valiant Courage for what's going well for the Divine Feminine Collective. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. So in some way, this Divine Feminine might be taking action, courageous action, when it comes to giving or reciprocating in some way, or being generous, receptivity. I wonder if this has something to do with like allowing one's heart to be open in some way. Yeah, because to me the people in these cards are very similar in appearance. The Queen of Cups and the person in the Six of Pentacles, the person standing in the Six of Pentacles. The giving of one's feelings or accepting. It's like giving love, giving and or receiving love, or compassion, or I'm almost getting like operating out of faith in some way and hope, like having the more hopeful perspective, having the more. It's like there might be a part of this Divine Feminine collective that worries, or that, and I think it's because of something having to do with the past, right? They worry about things not going well, things not going in their favor, the favor of all involved. But the bigger picture, the higher perspective is that yes, everything's progressing wonderfully. It's all for a reason. It's all for everyone's highest good. It's but it's challenging for this Divine Feminine to perhaps like accept love in some way, because with this Queen of Cups, her hand is out like and she's motioning to come here, like she's motioning to, she's giving permission for someone to approach. And she has her cup. Yeah, with the circle behind it's like the light with the star, all the circles around the heads, the perspective, having with light, right? Clarity, hope, positivity, peace, purity of thoughts and feelings, purity of the heart, a lightness of the heart. There's something about that. It's interesting, yeah, because I think that might be something about the obstacle here. At least part of the obstacle, with the circles and the round boulder. Also, I just noticed the difference in the water, right? With Enjoy the Journey, the water in these two pictures is different. With the Knight of Cups, the water is very calm. There's not a lot of movement. With the Queen of Cups, there's more waves. It's not out of control, but it's more lively. It's more, like there might be something here about the Divine Feminine's feelings being, what would be the word to use? To feel in some way, or the obstacle has something to do with being open to feeling. I was saying earlier, it's easier to, or this Divine Feminine might have an easier time, or it's less challenging to take action with passion, to experience a willingness and desire to take action with passion, to act courageously. But it's the feelings that are the challenge, the emotions, the heart space. And I think if that's what's going on in some way, because with Valiant Courage, Six of Pentacles, right? Valiant Courage, it's like this Divine Feminine collective is willing and able to express, or not, I don't know why I said express passion or desire, or to express themselves courageously. There might be something about that. I accidentally said it. I'm kind of getting, what am I getting? This Divine Feminine might have strong boundaries when it comes to the giving and or receiving of love in some way. But what's going well for this Divine Feminine collective is that they're taking action with passion. They're being courageous. And I keep getting like a willingness. Like with the gesture here. Like a willingness to What am I getting? Because this is what would be beneficial for the Divine Feminine to strive for or lean into. Leaning into this Queen of Cups, this nurturing, this compassionate, loving energy, right? But what's going well for the Divine Feminine has to do with taking action with passion, has to do with having courage. Yes, I think it takes courage for this Queen of Cups to even raise their arm and allow someone to approach. It takes courage, and that might be part of the obstacle here. Opening oneself, being open in the heart space. I'm definitely getting what am I trying to say with this? It's like like having passionate feelings or having feelings of desire or taking courageous actions, right? Like that's not a problem. That's going well for this Divine Feminine. They are willing to give and receive in those kinds of ways. But the problem or the challenge, it's not a problem. The challenge has to do with the heart space. And I think that's just part of this path. It's like this Divine Feminine is experiencing these challenges for a good reason, for a reason that will lead to their growth, their evolution. With the Ten of Pentacles earlier, it's like long-term success and stability, long-term abundance. It's leading to a more highly evolved Divine Feminine. If they're able to get in touch with their heart space, trust their inner voice, focus on choosing to perceive things in a certain way, choosing to understand how their thoughts, how their perspectives affect their reality, their internal reality, their external reality. With Magician, as above, so below, as within, so without. Yeah, that will inevitably lead to another ascension, another phase of evolution for this Divine Feminine. My damn nail. Okay. Why is traveling lightly? Simplify your life here for Divine Feminine's current guidance advice. Simplify your life. Whoa. What is this? 9 of Cups. Material happiness, which is so weird to me because it's the 9 of Cups, which has to do with emotions, right? Part of me almost feels like there was a mistake. I'm gonna find the 9 of Pentacles now. I'm determined. Where the fuck is the 9 of Pentacles? Oh my god, it's gonna be all the way. Here we go. Material gain. Okay. Material gain and material happiness. I mean, I guess. 9 of Cups, emotions, feelings. There is something material about our feelings, emotions, right? It's all connected, I guess. Material happiness, okay. 9 of Pentacles, material gain. Material happiness. This is being happy and content with oneself and their life, their world. Simplify your life. Traveling lightly. What was I saying earlier? I was saying something about this Divine Feminine collective. I don't remember what I was saying. If I see it in the editing process, editor me, go ahead and summarize it here maybe. 9 of Cups, traveling lightly, simplify your life. Yeah, you're being guided, the Divine Feminine collective is being guided to simplify their life in a way that leaves them feeling more emotionally fulfilled on their own. Traveling lightly, letting go of what is not needed on this path towards whatever they want. Yeah, because because I kept getting this. I didn't say anything, but I kept getting. It's like I imagined that, like, let's say someone was traveling along this path and they had a lot with them. They just had a lot of, like, stuff with them in some way for whatever reason, right? They thought they needed it on this path. And that stuff, to me, it was visually represented externally, like suitcases and stuff and bags of stuff. But it could be like internal, what we carry within. And I was like, I kept getting the idea or the feeling that someone would need to, like, leave that stuff behind in order to overcome this obstacle. Like, there's some stuff they won't be able to get through here. You know, there's some stuff that they can't take on this path. And again, that could be externally or internally. But I'm kind of getting that with, like traveling lightly, simplify your life. That could have to do with someone's internal world. Simplifying their internal world in some way. Their emotional selves. Or perhaps this divine feminine is being encouraged to focus on figuring out what needs to be left behind for their happiness. Or if they want something, with the Nine of Cups being like what someone wants, their wish. Simplify your life. Like being willing to do what it takes to leave behind what is not needed. I don't know what I'm saying. Why is alright, let's clarify. I'm going to clarify a little bit. Why is Star here with Cosmic Gateway for Divine Feminine's current energy? Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands with taking, with valiant courage, right? It's like the Knight of Wands to me. Take action with passion. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. And the Magician with their wand in their hand. It's like, this is someone's power. This is someone's, they're using their energy. They're doing things that are creating beginnings of, they're doing things that are creating beginnings. Passionate new beginnings, right? Excitement. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. So there's something here. This divine feminine might be like the way they're perceiving things. Like I know I've talked a lot about like the need to, or how it could be beneficial to focus on feelings and thoughts of hope versus hopelessness and positive versus negative, right? And I think this divine feminine collective is primarily or predominantly operating in the energy of hope, of having hope and faith and belief and a higher perspective, things like that. But there's something specific now or whenever this would resonate for someone about challenges associated with that. But I think that this divine feminine is currently in the energy of focusing on having hopeful energy, of sending hopeful energy out there into the universe, right? Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. With the Magician with the wand in their hand. Yeah, it's like it's glowing white, right? The wand is glowing white. And then with Queen of Cups, with the circle, what is this? What am I seeing? What's this? Ah, it's a wing. The bird. What is that about? Yeah, it's like tuning in, channeling, using that high vibrational energy, creating that high vibrational energy to create, to start something new, to inspire. Miraculous changes are occurring. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. They're currently in that energy. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Yeah, there's something here about how this Divine Feminine Collective is utilizing their energy. Taking action with passion, acting courageously when it comes to whatever it is that they desire. Having hope, having a hopeful perspective when it comes to achieving goals, when it comes to getting what they desire in some way, creating what they desire. Why is Magician here with Sacred Vision for why Divine Feminine is in this Cosmic Gateway energy? Why is Magician here with Sacred Vision? Two of Cups. Forgive in order to heal. This might have to do with forgiveness for someone else, oneself. I think it's all connected. I think it's all connected in some way. With the Two of Cups, right? They're like, these people are very connected. They share something. Remember that love has no boundaries. Choose to forgive in order to heal. Yeah, there's something here. See the light in all. There's something here about the perspective and how it's creating reality, how it's creating on this earth, something involving this Two of Cups. This could be the connection with the divine counterparts. Something about the perspective, the way they're utilizing their energy. It's almost as if, because before I was talking about it's easy to be passionate or excited about this. It's easier to do that. The more challenging aspect has to do with the heart space, right? And it's almost like by leaning into this valiant courage energy, taking action with passion, it's creating that energy. It's allowing space for that energy to manifest in this 3D reality in some way, or just in the energetic, spiritual realm, right? And it's like the interesting material, because I was looking at the cups, right? To me, I've always seen cups as something that's not material, but we as humans are material beings. I will admit, Nine of Cups, material happiness. We are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. There, I said it. Yeah, because like to me, the cups were always something like in the as above energy versus the so below energy. And I think they are in some way. But we physically experience them in our material bodies. So it's almost as if this energy, it's going well, that this Divine Feminine Collective is willing and desires to give that energy to create. What am I getting? It's like when you're making a meal, right? It's like you're making the sauce. You gotta have the sauce. And then, I mean, you can just eat the sauce, you could drink the sauce, you could do whatever. But it's like this Divine Feminine has been making the sauce, and eventually, once they overcome these obstacles regarding their heart space, then they'll have the pasta too. They'll have the pasta, they'll have the sauce with the pasta, and they'll have their meal, right? It's like the process of creating this meal. It's the Divine Feminine is creating a high vibrational, delicious sauce. And if they keep going this route, if they keep choosing a high vibrational, big picture, positive perspective of whatever is going on here, if this is their personal life, their like individual life, and or if it's with the divine counterpart, right? If they continue having that kind of perspective and choosing that mentality, they'll get their pasta. They'll get the pasta too, and they'll have the sauce with pasta. And it's almost like, so the Divine Feminine's sitting there, waiting for the sauce to cook, and they're like, but where's the pasta? I'm nervous about what's going to happen when the pasta is here. What if I overcook it? And it's like they're being encouraged to simplify their life, to let that go, to just focus on how damn good that sauce smells right now. It's simmering, it's delicious and fragrant, and carry on the path. Cross the bridge of pasta making when they get there. That is a strange way for me to try explaining this. I love making me a good sauce, though, let me tell you. Okay, moving on. What's happening here? Why is a Knight of Cups with Wandering Path for what would be beneficial for the Divine Feminine to avoid while in this energy? Knight of Cups, Wandering Path, the Chariot. Determination, moving forward in a balanced... Yeah, it's like allowing their heart, because with the Knight of Cups, right? The Knight of Cups is on a horse, and then the Chariot... I believe this is the Emperor. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of being reminded of when I was talking about like the ups and downs, the positives, the negatives, the good times, the bad times, all being part of that path, right? It's all required. It's all required for forward movement. And this has to do with the emotions, the heart space. Why is the Chariot with Knight of Cups and Wandering Path? Seven of Pentacles. Also, I was thinking that it might have something to do with like feeling the need to control in some way, or feeling the need to control like others or oneself, like emotions, things like that. Yeah, because it's like with the Queen of Cups, right? If the Queen of Cups were to I mean, they have a lot of emotional control, right? They've evolved enough to be able to have control of their emotions, to have balance. But if this Queen of Cups, like, I'm getting more of a closed off energy. If this Queen of Cups were to not be open, closed off, it might be because like they don't want to get hurt, they don't want someone to misuse or abuse their feelings in some way. And so it's like the sense of controlling in that way. Like, I think I said earlier something about boundaries, having like strong boundaries. Anyway, Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, because with Seven of Pentacles, this person has been tending to their crops. They've put in efforts and they're reaping what's been sown. They're assessing the progress. Yeah, that might have something to do with like being focused on the destination, being focused on like expectations or having expectations, outcomes, being focusing on the outcome, focusing on where this path ends, what's happening later in the journey, etc., right? Feelings associated with that. Like, it's like the like being emotionally attached to outcomes, being emotionally attached to what lies ahead in some way. Kind of like the pasta and the sauce that I was talking about. It's like, instead of being in the moment and focusing on the sauce that's simmering, or focusing on the sauce that's being made, right? They're focused like far ahead, like in the future. Like, what about the pasta? What am I gonna, what? I don't know. How much can someone worry about pasta noodles? Yeah, it's like in the meanwhile, this Divine Feminine was focused on the pasta in the future pasta, and they accidentally caramelized the onions, and they weren't trying to. That wasn't what they were going for. They caramelized the onions. That's no good. They burnt the garlic. Shit. Alright, moving on. What's all this cooking? Someone like to cook? You like to cook? You like pasta and sauce? Alright. Oh my goodness. Alright. Queen of Cups, overcoming obstacles. For what this Divine Feminine Collective would benefit from leaning into. Queen of Cups with overcoming obstacles. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. So slow and steady energy. Practical, taking practical steps. I think that maybe something that would be beneficial for the Divine Feminine Collective who might be having a challenge or might be facing obstacles when it comes to their heart space in some way. Being receptive. Yeah, Queen of Cups, receptive. Receptive. Giving, receiving, reciprocity. There might be challenges with that, right? And they're being encouraged to go about this in a slow, like not rushing that process. Like taking their time with that process. Why is the Knight of Pentacles with Queen of Cups? Knight of Pentacles with Queen of Cups. The Hangman. Enlightenment. What was I saying before? What was I saying? Something about time or something about the challenge, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. It's like, I think I said this in a different reading. I don't remember which one, but there might be it might be challenging for this Divine Feminine Collective in their heart space when it comes to their perception of how this Knight of Pentacles energy moves. When it comes to like, because this Knight of Pentacles, they require patience. They require someone to be confident and trusting of them. It requires trust, patience, being able to see like, because this Knight of Pentacles moves real slow, right? And sometimes, I said earlier, what did I say? If this Divine Feminine Collective does not know everything about what's going on with their Divine Masculine counterpart, if that's what we're talking about here. If there's something about, like, if movement's been slow, or, like in a way where this Divine Feminine Collective might have felt stuck, or, like, there's been some kind of waiting energy, not sitting around and doing nothing and waiting for something, but like expectations in some way. And there's been a particular challenge when it comes to the pace, and this Knight, I mean, they're moving slow. They're slow to take actions. Each step is a process, but it's because it's like they have integrity. They're trustworthy. They're loyal to the journey of bringing this pentacle to the destination, right? I don't know if that made sense. They're loyal to the journey. They're dedicated, they're determined to get this pentacle safely to its destination. And they're not going to run through like the Knight of Wands. They're not going to go skipping through fields like the Knight of Cups. They're being slow and steady for a reason, because what they have has value. What they have, they don't want it to be damaged. They don't want to damage the integrity of this. And that's why they're moving slower. I'm being reminded of the Ten of Pentacles card that showed up earlier. And it's like, it has long-term stability. It's like something that's been carefully crafted. Can't just like run through fields to bring it to its destination, or to get it to its destination, right? This could also have to do with, like, I don't know why I'm getting this, like investing in one's what someone invests their emotions into. Okie dokie. A new perspective of feeling stuck. A new perspective about feeling stuck. When it comes to overcoming obstacles, yeah, it's like looking at it a different way. It's like this obstacle in the path. And it's all about the heart space. One's perception, one's perspective about how they're feeling about an obstacle, or having some kind of awareness of how they're approaching a situation from their heart space. I don't know. Okay. Why is Wheel of Fortune here with increased awareness for Divine Feminine's current obstacle challenge? Wheel of Fortune with increased awareness. Ace of Pentacles. It's like, begin with the Pentacle. Over here, with Wandering Path for what Divine Feminine would benefit from avoiding. Seven of Pentacles. That's like, after this Ace of Pentacles is planted, the Seven of Pentacles is what grows from it. Because of this person's efforts they put into it. There might be, what is this? Hold on a second. There might be something here, because now I'm seeing it differently. Not differently, but I'm seeing it in an additional way. There might have been something in the past where someone acted, because I was saying earlier, taking action towards what one emotionally desires in some way, or taking action towards emotional fulfillment in some way. Someone might have, like, I think this Divine Feminine might have taken charge in a situation and perhaps planted the seed in some way, and they were not satisfied with the results, or did not produce results. Like, they took the action, they planted a seed in some way, and it did not, yes. It's like someone who planted a seed before, nothing happened with it, or it didn't go well, it didn't produce desired results, something like that. Or it was not tended to properly, or it, something like that. And now the challenge is, I think I said something earlier. I might have said something. With Wheel of Fortune, trust your inner voice, Ace of Pentacles. It's like trusting that certain things are out of our control. Trusting that things will turn in your favor. Things will turn in the favor of all involved, right? Hope for a good outcome, a desired outcome, etc. And that has to do with planting the seed. This is like a new tangible opportunity. This is the so below energy, right? It's the physical manifestation of the Ace of Wands. The energetic, the actions, it's like the Ace of Wands being the, hey, I really want to, I don't know, I almost said grow a bush. I almost want to plant a tree. I want to plant a tree. And the Ace of Pentacles is the actual physical planting of that tree. The planting of the seed to grow that tree. And this is, the challenge is trusting one's inner voice, or having increased awareness. And it's like maybe that seed that was planted in the past, perhaps, the Divine Feminine has been unable to see how it's been growing or thriving in some way. I don't know if that's a thing. And it's like, this is the Divine saying that it's going well, you just can't see it. Or it's going well, things are going to work out, things are working out. It's just, you can't see it because of your perspective, or because of just the physical reality, right? You're unable to see the results of the seed you've planted in some way, and that's a challenge. Okay, because what I was saying, focusing on the outcome, focusing on the, like having expectations, etc., right? Progress. Yeah, it's like there's some kind of obstacle challenge when it comes to progress, like actual progress, what progress someone can see and know in some way, and how one is feeling about it, how one is choosing to perceive it and feel about it, right? Because how we choose to perceive things, situations, people, etc. That affects our feelings. That affects the way we feel about things. And it's like the challenge is having an awareness. Wait, what was I saying? Progress, new perspective, feeling stuck. It's like if this divine feminine planted a seed in the past, they might think that it didn't grow or nothing came of it. But it just needed time. It just needed the path, the journey needed to go a certain way for big picture wise, right? That's what we're talking. Big picture. Things needing to happen in a certain way for the best possible outcome. Having that awareness, trusting your inner voice. I don't know if this Divine Feminine Collective's inner voice, if they've been feeling this or having this thought that maybe, I don't know, if this is the same seed that was planted in the past. Like, okay, I'm now able to see the potential that, or the possibility that there has been growth, or that something good did come out of it, or having clarity about that in some way. Or if this is like a new opportunity, brand new, this is a new seed. This is a new seed, and trusting the inner voice, trusting the divine with the Wheel of Fortune, right? This Wheel of Fortune is in God's control, divine's control, the universe, etc. Trust that if they plant this new seed, it will all work out. The Divine Feminine's having a difficult, challenging time doing that. If this, I don't know if this, there's like there's different ways to look at this. This Divine Feminine might, it's like trying to not rush something. What am I getting? Like there might be, this Divine Feminine might feel challenges, or have challenges and obstacles when it comes to, like, they have this seed, right? They have this seed. This is different. What am I getting? It's like they have this seed and they want to plant it. And it's like I'm getting like a, not panic, but like rushed. Like a rushed feeling in some way. And again, with the pace, right? There's something about that. I don't know what, it's like the pace and trusting in divine timing, or trusting in a bigger picture regarding whatever that could be. Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting there. It's like a rushed, or it's not like, I mean, it might have something to do with rushing another person or rushing a situation or something like that. Or like feeling like a sense of urgency. That's what I'm getting. That's a more eloquent way to say it. Feeling a sense of urgency when it comes to planting the seed, or when it comes to seeing the results of the seed planted in some way. That could be a challenge here. Why is Six of Pentacles here with Valiant Courage for what's going well for Divine Feminine? Six of Pentacles with Valiant Courage. The Moon. La Luna. The Moon. Six of Pentacles. Uncertainty. Six of Pentacles, Moon. For what's going well, Valiant Courage. Why is the Moon here with Six of Pentacles and Valiant Courage for what's going well for Divine Feminine? The Moon with Six of Pentacles, the Emperor. This could have to do with the Divine Feminine's feelings, or desires, feelings and or desires towards the Divine Masculine counterpart. Like when it comes to reciprocity, because it's like, what was I saying? There might be something here that it's more challenging for this Divine Feminine to, at this current phase in this, on this journey, right? It might be easier or less of a challenge for this Divine Feminine to be open and what am I getting? What am I getting here? Has this Divine Feminine been taking action in some way, courageously, and it's helping? Because with the Moon, Emperor, Six of Pentacles, it's like, if, because this person is helping these people, they're giving to these people in some way. I don't know if this Divine Feminine has been taking actions that like help, but this is hidden. It's like hidden. It's not necessarily like seen clearly in some way. But I mean, we could just be getting back to, okay, let me finish my first sentence. Focus. Okay, we could be talking about with the energy, right? The Divine Feminine creating this energy, this positive energy that started something. It's like this Divine Feminine started something energetically, or is currently starting something energetically. And if everything's connected, right? This Divine Feminine is also helping the Divine Masculine in some way by doing this. And I think that it's because they were taking valiant courage, taking action with passion. So it's like, what am I getting here? It's like by the Divine Feminine doing whatever they've been doing on an energetic level, or from a mental space, their perspective, their thoughts. Their thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Magnetic, that's what I'm talking about. Something the Divine Feminine has been doing involves hope. It's created an energy. And it is, I believe, whatever they did, and possibly whatever they took action towards, or whatever they're like being courageous about, this is also helping the Divine Masculine in some way, or it's helping the Divine Masculine aspect of this Divine Feminine in some way. And then this could be both ways, like, because whatever Divine Feminine does affects Divine Masculine in some way, and the other way around. So it's like, is there, with Two of Cups, Magician, like a mutual exchange of energies happening? Yeah, there's like some kind of energetic exchange, and that's going well. That's good. So whatever that is, our thoughts create energy, right? Our thoughts influence our world, influence our feelings. There's something about the Divine Feminine's thoughts, positive, hopeful thoughts, that are creating some kind of, they're starting something. And I think it has to do with like an energetic change. Energetic change. I did not mean to say that. I wanted to say exchange. This could be either like subconsciously or emotionally helping this Divine Masculine, or it could be like secretly, or like it's hidden that this is helping the Divine Masculine in some way. So whatever Divine Feminine, whatever you're doing, that you're doing from a place of passion, and it takes courage, whatever you're doing, it also involves energy, the energy of your thoughts, your hopes. It's helping. It's helping both counterparts, or it's helping, if it's helping both counterparts, it's also helping the Divine Masculine energy you carry within as Divine Feminine, right? We all have it all. We all have it all. The pasta, the sauce, all of it. That's going well. It's like, and then Six of Pentacles, right? This person is giving pentacles. With increased awareness, I'm feeling like there's just, the Divine Feminine is not aware of what they're giving, or what they gave, or the potential, or the opportunity. There's something here. That's the challenge. Trusting that what they give is going to lead to the wheel turning in the counterparts' favors, right? Or there will be a good out. Yeah, there's something here about trusting trusting in a desirable result, or trusting in a positive outcome, or allowing oneself to open within the heart space to allow room for a positive outcome in some way. When it comes to focusing our thoughts, like, what are we choosing to focus on? How are we how are we choosing to focus on situations? Interesting. Why is Nine of Cups here with traveling lightly? Simplify your life for Divine Feminine's guidance advice. Nine of Cups with traveling lightly. Two of Wands. Yeah, what do you want? Simplify your life. Two of Wands. It's like crossroads, choosing a path, choosing an action, choosing a plan of action. What do you want? Traveling lightly. Simplify your life. Yeah, it's kind of like, like, what do you want? Focusing. Like, if this is resonating for a Divine Feminine collective that has had a hard time when it comes to maybe what's gone on in the past, whether that's in this divine connection, or if it's in general, or a specific incident, or a specific person, whatever that may be, it's important to simplify your life. And I'm thinking both internally and externally, right? Simplify your life by choosing to focus on whatever it is that you want. What do you want? What outcome do you want? Focus on that. What would make you happy? Go after that. What makes you feel good? Go after that. You know, in a responsible way. It's for your highest good. It's like possibilities. Possibilities. If there's something specific you want to go towards, that requires you to leave things behind in some way, you're being encouraged to either see the possibility, see the potential in that. Again, with the circle here. Oftentimes this is a globe. It's like having a world of possibilities. It's just what you decide to put your energy into, right? With the wand. Simplify your life. Whatever it is that you might want to go towards, and if it has to do with maybe leaving things behind or letting things go in some way, you're being encouraged to go after that, whatever that might be for you. If it's something that will lead to your material happiness, your emotional happiness, go for it. It's a possibility. It's acknowledging, or it's being able to see it as a possibility, allowing yourself to take actions towards that possibility. It's like, okay, so my belief is that when we choose to, okay, let's say if we're choosing to, what am I getting? Where's my drink? Okay. When we're focusing, or when we're considering possible outcomes, right? What was I going to say originally? I was going to say, yes, it's my belief that our thoughts create our reality, right? Our thoughts lead us in different directions. Our thoughts can help us, or they can hinder us. What am I trying to freaking say? It's like, okay, so if that's the case, right, and we're presented with a path, a journey that could lead anywhere. We're presented with situations where we don't know the outcome for certain. We don't know how things are going to go. We don't know, there's no concrete proof that we know how things are going to end, or we know how things are going to begin, or etc., right? Like when it comes to the future, I think it's pretty much impossible to know exactly how things are going to go, what the outcomes will be, what the results will be, what the destination will look like, etc. So when faced with that as a challenge, for whatever reason, if someone finds that challenging, whether it's like they're worried that it's going to go wrong, or whether it's, I don't know. Well, however, why not, and that's what I'm getting, why not choose to simplify your life internally and focus on the best possible outcome you can focus on. Not in a naive, ignorant, rose-colored glasses kind of way. Use your discernment, of course, right? Why not focus your mental energy, your energy as in general, why not think about the best possible outcome? Especially if that's with trust your inner voice as the challenge, especially if your inner voice is telling you you're going to get a good outcome or the best possible outcome, stay with that. Trust that. Don't let your mind get in the way. Don't let the past get in your way. Don't let, I don't know. If it's something you want, it's like choosing to just expect the best possible outcome until you're presented with any solid proof that that's not how it's going. You know what I mean? Solid proof. Like, we can't deny things. We can't deny certain truths. We can't ignore red flags and things like that. I mean, we can ignore red flags, but we have to deal with the consequences of that. Shit. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of getting. That's like, why not just focus on simplifying your life, letting go of what you don't need, and focus on what you want. Focus on getting what you want. Focus on positive outcomes, the best possible outcomes, etc. If it's something you want, it's a possibility. Don't limit yourself. Don't. Yeah, it's like if someone wants happiness, right? With Two of Wands, Nine of Cups. If someone wants emotional happiness, material happiness, things have to be let go. Traveling lightly, simplify your life, making room for those good things. I don't know if I hope some of that made sense. I don't have time to do the individual signs guidance today. But, and I will hold myself accountable. I think the last Divine Feminine reading, or a reading recently, I said I didn't have time to do the advice guidance and I'd make it up to you. I will still make it up to you. It's just not going to be today. I'm sorry. I really just can't today. If this resonated, I hope that it brought clarity and was beneficial in some way. Until next time, bye. Sorry. I'll give you individual guidance. I'll think of something. I'll do something special. Okay. Bye.